So maybe not today, playing outside with them.
I think it stopped raining just a while ago.
Tish?
I lived in North Carolina for 4 years. That's the most place I stayed in my life.
What part of North Carolina were you in?
I don't know what that. North Carolina or South Carolina? I don't remember.
Well, if you find out, you can tell Arjun. That'd be cool.
I'm in Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, Charlotte. I remember you saying that. Well, it's wonderful to see you all today. Hopefully, several of you have had a head start on some of the assignments on Bright Thinker. We are reading a new chapter in Farmer Boy today, chapter 3. In chapter 3, reminding myself, it's all about the extreme cold, which sounds familiar, and what it's like for Almanzo through the night and in the morning for him. Arima, what did you think of that?
I had a different question. How many assignments did you put?
There should be a literature and a history and nothing for well-ordered language because we're starting a new unit. You should have a math assignment, and for science, we're going to talk about that as a separate assignment for today. It's going to be a 2-day assignment.
Like 2 or 3 assignments?
Yeah, not very many for today. I think there should be literature, history, and math might be the only ones.
Yeah, there were only 3 assignments.
Yep, I think that's right. For science today, you are going to start researching about your favorite or an interesting planet in our solar system in preparation for tomorrow writing a paragraph about it. So I wanted to go over this with you all together rather than putting it directly into Bright Thinker. But for the next 2 days, this is a 2-day assignment, I want you to start looking into information about one of the planets in our solar system that you find most interesting, or maybe it's one that maybe you just don't know as enough about, like maybe Neptune. You think, I don't really know much about Neptune. I'd like to know more about it. And so you choose to have that one as the one you research. So whichever one is the most interesting to you that you want to write a paragraph about, you can do that. And by tomorrow, I want you to upload a photo of a single paragraph where you write information about the paragraph. For example, if you chose Venus, you'd say, oh, is that what you're going to choose, Darshika? Tell us a few facts about Venus.
So I'm going to choose Saturn.
Let's hear what you would say about Saturn.
So I know a lot. There's 7 rings in Saturn, and they say there is 8 rings totally because there's one dust ring.
Nice.
And there's actually 62 moons. There's 2 moons extra, but they haven't found it yet.
It wasn't in our science book.
Yeah, and Saturn is like light as water. Like you can just float in Saturn.
Yeah, and it's the least dense.
And the coolest fact about Saturn is like it really rains diamonds.
Wow, that sounds like Sinbad the Sailor.
Yeah, like whenever, like for us, rains water. That's why we can't live in Saturn because we won't have water there, and the diamonds will give us wealth, but I don't think it will make us live. So
that's right.
So another interesting fact about Saturn is like it's very boiling over there, and I saw its Fahrenheit, and it was like seriously so boiling that any person who goes there, I think, can't survive.
It is not possible for humans to go there. You're right. And then the one next to it, Uranus, is the coldest of all of them. Mm-hmm. So depending on the atmosphere, the climate changes very drastically. Ahana, do you already have a planet in mind that you would research?
I would do a planet, but then also, can we do a star in case we want to?
I love that idea. Yes. If you want to make a bonus assignment of a star, you can do that. Is there one specific star you want to research?
Yep. It might
Which
not
one?
be in the Milky Way galaxy, but well, I'm pretty sure it may not be in the Milky Way galaxy. It's gonna be a surprise, anyways.
Oh, you can't give us a hint?
Miss Ghana, I've already got.
How many parsecs away is it? You know? Oh, you already wrote one, Darshika. Nice.
I
Yeah.
don't know how many distance it is from the core. It is like 24,813 light years.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Boys and girls, as an optional assignment also, you can make a model of your planet. This is one from one of my students from last year. He let me just keep it in the classroom. Just using a foam ball and some paper mache paper around it. He did one of Earth, which is a planet in our solar system. So you could do Earth if you want to write about that, or one of the other planets and make a model of it. That's an optional fun thing that you can do extra. In all of my other years doing third grade, we did do this, but with virtual, it's not a requirement, but you can do this sometime in the week if you'd like to make an actual model of your planet.
Miss Ghana.
Yes?
So, like, I was so interested. So, I already wrote in, like, almost, like, 5 pages.
Wow. So you'll have already a lot of information. All you have to do is just take a picture of one of them. But we are going to focus on, we'll write a really good proper paragraph in cursive. So we want to practice good writing skills along with good research skills.
Yeah, like I already researched and go, but I haven't wrote it like a paragraph, so I'm gonna write it in cursive in a paragraph.
Nice. Okay, I'll hear from Rihanna, and then we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and school motto. It's already 11:41, so we'll need to hurry it up.
So could you just do like so could you say like what god or goddess is named after the planet? I mean what the planet is.
Yeah, that would be a good sentence in your paragraph.
Awesome.
Definitely. Okay, boys and girls, can you join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance today? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor. I will honor those things which are good, true, and beautiful. Respect. I will show respect to others at all times. Service. I will do good things for others without being asked. Excellence. I will strive for excellence in all things. Perseverance. I will fulfill commitments and not give up or act on discouragement. Please join me for a moment of silence. Okay, boys and girls, well, let's get started on some spelling today. We are going to have back to a normal routine of some phonogram review, spelling lesson, and then we'll do a little bit of roots and cursive as well. So back to normal this week. Let's start with our whiteboard and marker. We're going to write some phonograms. Beginning with the phonogram ow, oh, cow in the snow. Would you all write ow, oh, cow in the snow? And Darsh, it looks like your camera is turned off. Would you turn it back on? Darsh, can you hear me? Yeah, I can see you. Thank you so much, Arjun. Great job persevering, even if you don't have all your supplies. He's writing it on paper. Great job, Adarsh, as well. The whiteboard makes it easier for me to see, but if you don't have a whiteboard handy, then writing it on paper is great. Tricia, it looks like you're not writing anything, sweetheart. Should look like this. Ow, cow in the snow. Next phonogram, please write L-O-U-A. L-O-U-A. Shatish, in the future, please make sure you put on your uniform shirt, okay? Rashi, are you writing the phonograms? It looks like you're distracted with something on the screen. L-O-U-A. Next, please write oo-you that we do use at the end of English words. Oo-you that we do use at the end of English words. And after that, please write oo-you that we do not use at the end of English words. Great job, Drishya. Saisanov, I love that cursive. It looks really nice. Here's oo-you that we do not use at the end of English words. Shatish, your phonogram that you wrote is oo. So very similar. It does say the oo sound, but that one is just oo. This one is oo-you. Next, let's write both ah that we do use at the end of English words and ah that we do not use at the end of English words. Like paw. And like sauce. Here are those last two. That we do use at the end of English words. That we do not use at the end of English words. That's all for phonograms. You can erase your board now, and let's get ready for some spelling words. Again, I think I told you this on Friday, but I'm going to be really busy on Friday and won't be able to do class at all. And so you're actually going to have some Bright Thinker assignments posted, but no class for you guys on Friday. So we're going to do a spelling quiz on Thursday instead. So that's something just for you all, not for all the classes at the school. It's just because I have to take the day off. So you guys are going to do your quiz a day early. So let's start off with the word magnify. Would you all write magnify? Yes, Rihanna?
My hand was up from earlier.
Okay.
No question.
Magnify. Let's go ahead and write also magnificent, the word that comes from it. With that one, we change Y to I before we add the suffix. Magnify, magnificent. Tricia, it looks like you turned your camera off, sweetheart. Please keep it on. And even if you leave the room, boys and girls, keep that camera on the whole time so that I can see what's going on. Tricia, keep your camera on, please. Uh-oh. Magnify, magnificent. Should look like this. Change Y to I before you add the suffix. Okay. Next up is mystery. And this word is kind of a mystery because that first syllable, miss, unusually we use actually y-i-i-e for the I sound. Usually y-i-i-e is only used as a vowel at the end of a word, but in this one, it's used as a vowel at the beginning. And that first syllable, that's pretty unusual. Mystery. Mystery. Next, we're going to write the plural mysteries. For that one, we change the Y to I before we add the suffix, mysteries. Mysteries. Yes, Darshika?
Miss Garner, did we do these words before? I don't remember doing these.
Yes, it's just probably been a little longer than usual because we had some of those snow days off. But we've learned them.
Yeah.
Okay, boys and girls. One more word that comes from mystery is mysterious. When you hear that us sound at the end of the word, almost always it's going to be the O-U-S spelling pattern, right? Mysterious, adventurous, tremulous. Lots of adjectives in with that O-U-S ending. Great job. This one is mysterious. Once again, we change that Y to an I before the suffix. Somebody's going on and off of mute. If that's the case, please keep your hand away from the mute button. Mysterious. Last word for today is mosquito. Please write mosquito. We think to spell mosquito. Okay, last one, mosquito. We use the k, which looks like qu, never use q without u. If it helps, you can think of this as mosquito. Mosquito. And that is all of the spelling words to review today. You can erase your board now and take out your binder. Let's get ready for a new spelling lesson. We're continuing to get into some harder words. We're going to have a French word today, which is quite an unusual spelling pattern. And our first word today comes from a word from yesterday, discern. Do you all remember the word discern? Or from not yesterday, but the last class that we had, which was Friday. Discern means like tell the difference between things. Do you know what unusual phonogram was in that word? Discern. Arima? Whoa, lots of loud walking in the hallway right now.
2 letters.
Perfect, Arima. Yep, 2 letters, like in science. We're going to use that same spelling of the base word discern for this next word, discernible. So instead of adding the able suffix, we're adding the ible suffix. The ible suffix also means that it's an adjective. It's just with an I instead of an A. Able instead of able. Okay? Sound out discernible with me. Discernible. 4 syllables. Which means able to be discerned. Like Mars is discernible because of its bright reddish orange color. We're able to differentiate it. Discernible. The first 2 syllables are the same. Discern with 2 letters. Then we have I and b-ul, silent final lead job 4, just like the able suffix. Please pick up your pencil and write discernible. Discernible. Thumbs up if you're done with discernible. Looks like we're still waiting on a few more people. Thumbs up if you're done with discernible. Okay. D, syllable break. Discern. That's the same as our word from Friday. Syllable break, syllable break, b-ul, silent final lead. Who spelled that correctly? Discernible. Great job. If you made a mistake, please cross it out and rewrite it. Saisanov, would you like to tell us the markings in the word?
Okay.
You muted yourself again.
Sorry.
That's okay.
In the phonogram in the second syllable gets underlined,
Good.
and then the earlier of her gets underlined too. In the 4th syllable, we underline the B and the L, but that's only consonant syllables, so we add and so now if every time there's an L, so that means the final G E is job 4.
Perfect. Do you know the part of speech?
Verb, adjective.
It's an adjective. You're correct the second time. The ible and able suffix make something an adjective. Okay, time for our next word. Our next word might be new for some of you. The word is dissension. Would you all say dissension? Dissension means a disagreement which can lead to a fight. For example, last week in history, you learned about the Apaches and Spaniards. There's dissension between them, right? They had some disagreements, led to some fightings, but they chose to bury the hatchet for a little while at least. There's also kind of some dissension between people in Farmer Boy right now. Who is there dissension between? Does anybody know? Krish?
Against the big boys.
The big boys, and there's dissension between Big Bill Ritchie and his gang, and then who's the other party in this?
Mr.
Devon?
Course.
What?
There's dissension between Big Bill Ritchie and whom?
Almanzo?
Well, I'm sure Almanzo doesn't care for them, but there's mainly dissension between him and Mr. Course, the teacher. Do you remember that?
Because Mr. Course doesn't like the big boys?
Well, mainly it's just because the big boys are picking on him. They think they can prove that they're tough. And you're going to find out in Wednesday's chapter what happens. Have any of you read ahead? That is a lot of people's favorite chapter in the book. Is that true of you, Ahana and Rashi? Don't spoil anything. There's a lot happening in that chapter, though. Okay, so dissension is the word which means an argument leading to a fight. Would you say dissension with me? Dissension. 3 syllables. Again, Drisha, Sai, say it with me. Dissension. 3 syllables. First syllable, d, I, and then we're going to add a s there to keep the vowel short. Dis. Next syllable, s, n. 3 sounds. So that's a double S, keep in mind. And then dissension, sh, n. This is like the Sean suffix, but with the phonogram sh, zh instead. Okay? Because we already have S's in the word, we're going to be using the sh, zh, not sh, tall letter sh. Dissension. Pick up your pencil to write it, please. Thumbs up if you're ready. I'm going to drop it down to this since there's not that much space. D, I, s, syllable break. S, n, syllable break. Sh, n. Dissension. Great job if you spelled that one correctly. That's a tough one. If you made any mistakes, please cross it out and rewrite the whole word. Dissension. Sai, would you like to tell us the markings in the word?
Okay, and both of the words have this suffix.
You're right.
And the second word has all these syllables have an S in it.
Yeah, every syllable has an S. You're right.
You double underline the first S, and then on the third syllable you underline short sh, and then you
Good.
put a thinking cap above all.
Perfect, Sai. Yep, that you're right. This one is zh. And I'm pretty sure the only reason they use this, not the tall letter sh, is because we already have S's. Now, this word is a noun, just like when we have the Sean suffix, it makes it a noun. It's the same with this other Sean suffix, basically. Okay, but they function really similarly, both of the Sean suffixes. Okay, we are ready now for our really tricky one today. You guys ready for a fun French word? Arima, do you already have a guess as to what it might be?
Can you give us a clue by like saying what French phonogram it is?
Oh, so it's not actually going to use any of our unusual phonograms. It's just a funny thing to spell. The meaning of it, here's a hint. The meaning of it is to meet up with people at a specific time and place. That's probably not going to help you much, though. The word is rendezvous. Can you say rendezvous? Rendezvous. Who's heard this before? Like, oh, Rashi's having a little rendezvous with her friends for her birthday. She's meeting up with them at a specific time and place. A little rendezvous for Rashi's birthday. A Rashi rendezvous. So, rendezvous, the part that's unusual about this is the way we think to spell it. It's so different. We've got some silent letters in this. We think to spell it as rendezvous. Can you say that with me? Rendezvous. It's a really different thing to spell. So we say rendezvous. We think to spell rendezvous. Would you all say rendezvous? Good. Drisha, unmute yourself and tell us rendezvous.
What should I say, rendezvous or rendezvous?
I heard you say them both, so you're good. Adarsh, unmute yourself so I can hear you say rendezvous. That's how we think to spell it.
What?
Can you say the think to spell rendezvous?
Rendezvous? Something? I don't
Close.
get it.
Rendezvous. That's how we're going to think to spell this.
Okay.
Can you say it again? Ren, des,
Res,
des,
des,
vus.
vus.
Perfect. Okay, let's sound out what phonograms are in the word. First syllable, n, ren, basic code. Next, d, z, basic code. Next, v, s, three sounds. The is l-o-u-a. So it's that o-u-s ending like mysterious. Would you pick up your pencil and write ren, des, vus? Ren, des, vus. Yes, Krish?
I have a sentence with that.
Okay, let me hear it.
I would like to have a rendezvous with the classroom.
Oh, I wish so too. I'd love a little rendezvous with everybody in the class, in person, hopefully. Next year, maybe. But not for Arjun, sadly. We may need to do a little rendezvous in person before Arjun moves. Officially moves. Okay, boys and girls, are you ready to rendezvous? Who's ready to rendezvous? Okay, we're going to think to spell rendezvous. Sound it out with me. R-E-N, syllable break. D-E-Z, syllable break. V-A-S. Who spelled that word correctly? You should give yourself a giant pat on your back if you spelled that right. That is a tough one. That is a type of word that could win a spelling bee, I would say. Rendezvous. Yes, Devansh?
I got everything correct except I put an H in the first syllable for ren.
Oh, like R-E-H-N? Yeah. Okay, well, let's go through the markings. Arima, do you think you know how to mark it? Remember that we pronounce it rendezvous.
Yeah, but I've also heard it spelled like with Greek .
No, it shouldn't ever have that RH.
Okay. In the first syllable, we put a thinking cap over E since it's saying instead of e. And
Good.
then we do the same thing for the second syllable's E, because it's not saying its normal sound. And then we double underline Z because it's silent.
Perfect.
And then we underline ow, o, u, and then put a 3 over it since it's saying its third sound. And
Perfect.
double underline S since it's not saying anything.
Excellent. Perfect markings all the way across. Now, rendezvous can be a noun or a verb. So let's write both of those. And I'm pretty sure this pronunciation is similar to other French words. When you see that EZ together, it's an A sound, and the OUS makes an OO sound. Okay, time for our very last word. Our last word is kerosene. Would you all say kerosene? Who's heard of kerosene before? Do you know what it relates to, Arima?
Isn't it like those things that have horses on it and you sit on it and then it spins? Like,
oh, good
fake
guess, but no,
horses?
I think you're thinking of a carousel.
Oh, yeah.
Very good guess. Yes, it sounds similar to carousel, but kerosene is also known as paraffin, and it is a liquid part of petroleum. So like think of a gas station getting some kerosene as fuel for a car. So kerosene is fuel for aviation, for airplanes. And this specifically is not actually gasoline for cars, but it is fuel for airplanes, and also they light certain lamps with kerosene. So kerosene has an R-controlled vowel in that first syllable. So think of like the word very or strawberry, that kind of spelling pattern for this. Would you sound out kerosene with me? Kerosene, 3 syllables. First syllable, k, or 3 sounds. Think of very or berry. Next syllable, O, open syllable, sing its name. And finally, s-e-n. E says its name because of a silent finally, job 1. Okay, what's the word? Shatish?
Kerosene.
Kerosene is correct. Please write kerosene. Ooh. Thumbs up when you're done. So k, syllable break. O, syllable break. S, e, n, silent final E. Kerosene. Brianna, could you tell me the markings of the word?
So you put a thinking cap on the E because it's not saying or E. Then you underline the O, double underline the silent final E, drop 1, and underline the E and the N.
Very good. I'm going to stick with what the manual says on this one and not thinking cap this because it's an R-controlled vowel. So it's saying a normal sound if it is like very and berry, once again. So we won't actually put a thinking cap on that one, even though I think that does kind of make sense to do that. What's wrong, Arjun? Are you confused about not doing the thinking cap? Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it does say kind of an air sound, which is not a normal sound of E. Would it help you all to do a thinking cap on that first E? There,
Yeah.
Rosine. Okay, we try to limit markings, but we'll go ahead and add that thinking cap if that helps you. But just keep in mind that it's not unusual for it to make that sound when there's an R after it. Kerosene is a noun. Okay, boys and girls, before we start well-ordered language, we're going to do something for cursive, as now that we know all of the lowercase and capital letters, we're going to start writing some quotes, occasionally things from Farmer Boy, but also some idioms, which are phrases that we do not take seriously or literally. For example, the one we learned in history last week, bury the hatchet. Now, what does bury the hatchet mean? Taisanov?
Drop down weapons and stop fighting.
That's right. Now, does it have to be literal weapons or hatchets that you're dropping down?
No, it can be anything.
No, it could mean, oh, I'm going to stop arguing with my little sister over what game to play. I'm going to bury the hatchet. Krish?
I know.
You what? You're muted.
I know an idiom.
Oh, let's hear another one.
It's actually a very good mad when you have a big mouth.
Oh, a big
That, like,
mouth.
mean-
That's right, which doesn't
that-
mean an actual big mouth.
It means you talk a lot.
Yep. That would be a good one to include sometime. So let's say first, bury the hatchet. I'm going to put quotation marks around this phrase. And let's capitalize the B for bury. the hatchet. And next to it, I'm going to write that it's an idiom. Good practice of the capital I. An idiom is not to be taken literally. Like burying the hatchet can mean that you just choose not to disagree about something anymore. No more dissension. Just like saying somebody has a big mouth doesn't literally mean their mouth is big. It just means they probably talk a little too much. Darshika?
Miss Garna, we didn't learn all the cursive letters.
You should have. We had lessons going over them, and most of it we did together in this time, but for all of the others, I posted separate videos.
Like, yeah, like I don't know the capital letters a lot. There was only 5 videos of them.
So Darshika, once again, we did most of them all together during this time. In every other letter, you should have watched separate videos on.
Yeah.
But you did have lessons over all of the letters.
Oh.
Yes, Rihanna?
How do you write a capital C?
It's exactly like print, but it just connects to other letters like cat.
Okay.
Okay, boys and girls, there's a paper on Bright Thinker in your cursive folder. There's no due date, but if you go to the cursive folder, there's a page with all of the capital letters. If there are any letters you're not sure how to write, that's the place to look, okay? Take a moment also to write the words in cursive from today's lesson at the bottom of your page, either now or you can do it at the end after our class is over. Like discernible. Okay. It's time for us to transition over to well-ordered language once you're done with that though. So write those words and then take out your well-ordered language workbook. We're going to be looking at more prepositional phrases this week. Sai?
What was the word you put next to bury the hatchet? I can't see it.
It's just quotation marks.
Like after the quotation mark?
It's nothing. It's just a B.
Oh.
There's no letter before it. It's just the capital B there. Okay, boys and girls. For prepositions, we're going to be starting a whole chapter on what happens when we have a prepositional phrase at the beginning of a sentence. So, nothing really new. We just have prepositional phrases at the beginning of a sentence rather than at the end. Open up to page 96 in your workbooks at this time. Or sorry, 94. So we're going to be looking at prepositional phrases in this chapter. If you still don't know your prepositions very well, don't worry because this whole chapter is still on prepositions. You've got another chapter where you can get more and more comfortable with knowing your prepositions and finding them in sentences. Let's begin by doing our preposition song. I'm going to flip back a page And I'll see my list of prepositions here. Would you all sing them with me? Aboard, about, above, across, after, against, along, among, around. Preposition words. Before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, at, by. Preposition words. Down, during, except for, from, inside, in, into, near. Preposition words. Of, off, on, out, outside, over. Past, since, through. Preposition words. Throughout, to, toward, under, up, until. Upon, with, within, without, underneath. Preposition words. Preposition words. Preposition words. Who can say all 47 of these prepositions and has not had a chance to do them for us yet? All 47. Let's hear them from Drisha.
I can only say them in like a tune from second grade.
That's fine. You can say them in the second grade tune. I think it's still the same order.
Yeah. Aboard, about, above, across, after, again, along, among, around. Preposition words. Before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, at, by. Preposition words. Down, during, except for, from, side, here. Preposition. Up, off, on, out, outside, over, past, since, through. Preposition words. Throughout, to, toward, under, up, until, upon, with, within, without, underneath.
Fabulous job, Drisha. That was wonderful. Yes, feel free to sing it in that tune as it helps you. Okay, so boys and girls, those are our prepositions. As we're going to see today, those prepositions can also sometimes be adverbs. Remember how whole prepositional phrases can act like adverbs? Sometimes those prepositions themselves can be adverbs. Like in this sentence, just a minute. Excuse me. In the morning, Winston paddled along. Now, in the morning has already been marked as a prepositional phrase. Along is a preposition, one of those preposition words. But why do we know it is not a preposition in this sentence? In the morning, Winston paddled along. Along is in our song, but why do we know it's not going to be a preposition in this sentence? Rihanna?
Because it's telling where Winston paddled and also because it's not in a phrase.
Perfect. Both good reasons. Now it's telling us where Winston paddled. It's acting like an adverb. Now it could be a preposition if it had an object like along the river. Chris, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, and also along is not in a prepositional phrase because there's no object of the preposition after the preposition.
Perfect, yes. So as Rihanna mentioned, it's not part of a phrase. How do we know it's not part of a phrase? It doesn't have an object. So certain words can be an adverb or a preposition depending on whether or not it has an object. So if it said along the river, now it's suddenly a prepositional phrase. But without the object, it's just an adverb. Okay, this order of analysis, all of the words, we're going to go through them practicing how we analyze a sentence, but it's actually no different than the last chapter. It's exactly the same words. The difference in this chapter is just that the prepositional phrase is before the subject, and in the last chapter, it was always after the predicate verb. Remember? But now we're going to have a chance to see that a prepositional phrase can be before the subject, or it can be at the end of a sentence. Could I have Devanch say all of the words on page 94 that are underlined? Although for the part that says letter C, teacher, I'll be the one to say that part.
Okay. In my notebook, should I just say the green thing? The ones that are light gray?
Yes, the light gray. And I've underlined them here so that hopefully that can help you as well.
In the morning, Winston paddled along. The order of analysis is phrases, clauses, principal elements, modifiers. Are there any prepositional
That's the part I'll
phrases?
say. Are there any prepositional phrases, Devanch?
Yes.
Yes.
In the morning is a prepositional phrase. In is the preposition. Morning is the object of the preposition. The is an adjective.
Good. Those are the markings for everything that Devanch just said.
That's the part where how you underline the phrase. Do I need to read page 95?
You know what? I'll have a different volunteer do that one. But thank you so much, Devanch.
Welcome.
So just like Devanch did, he identified the prepositional phrase, preposition, object of the preposition, and if there's an adjective. Now we're not marking that it's an adverbial preposition yet because we don't know what the predicate verb is. We're going to wait on that one. Can I have Ahna help with this next part? Ahna, are you there? Ahna, can you hear me? Ahna, are you invisible? Where did she go? There she is. Ahna, would you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah.
Would you please read the words for the rest of the sentence analysis? This is on page 95 of your book.
Okay. In the morning, Winston paddled along. This is a sentence and it's declarative. This sentence is about Winston. So Winston is the subject because it is what the sentence is about. This sentence tells us that Winston paddled. So paddled is the predicate because it is what the sentence tells us about Winston. It is a predicate verb because it shows action. There is no linking verbs because predicate verbs do not need linking verbs. Along tells us where Winston paddled. So along is an adverbial element that modifies a verb. It is an adverb. In the morning tells us when Winston paddled. So in the morning is an adverbial element because it modifies a verb. It is an adverbial prepositional phrase.
Perfect. And I think that's all. Yep, nothing on the back. Great job, Ahna. Thank you so much. Boys and girls, I highly encourage you to analyze your sentences in that order. Even though you're not going to say all those words, start by thinking, where's my prepositional phrase? Is there a prepositional phrase in the sentence? Once you find it, mark that, put your parentheses around it, mark your preposition and object, and then read through it and find your subject, your predicate verb, and then your adverbs and adjectives. Now, what if you did stop at along and think, oh, that's from the song. That's a preposition. Once again, how do you know it's not a preposition in this sentence? How can you tell it's not a preposition in this sentence? Saisanov?
Additional development, right?
It's because there's no object and it doesn't have a phrase.
Correct. It's not part of a phrase because it doesn't have an object. So as you're looking for prepositional phrases, think through your whole preposition song, but then keep in mind that if there's not a noun or pronoun to go with it, then it's not a preposition. It's probably just an adverb. Okay? Not an adjective, but it's probably an adverb if there's not one of those objects to go with it. Okay, that's all for well-ordered language today. You do not have any pages to on your own because it is the beginning of a new chapter. You will have some tomorrow and the rest of the week, though. How do you guys feel about prepositional phrases right now? We've got a whole chapter that should be pretty easy. If you already knew prepositional phrases by the end of the last chapter, then this is really no harder. It's just switching the order. Just keep in mind that you might see some at the beginning of a sentence now. Time for a little orthography and roots time now. Would you take out your orthography notebook and 2 new roots cards? It's been a while since we've done roots together. Had so many things changing up our schedule lately, but we are going to get back into our regular routine.
I ran out of roots card.
Oh my goodness. I recently did too. Got a fresh stack. Looks like Arjun's got a fresh stack of index cards.
Yeah, I bought some in North Carolina. My dad said if you need any tools, then you can get some. So I just got this.
Nice. Yeah, if any of you are starting to run out of cards, ask your parents if you can get a new one because we still have quite a few more weeks. Whoa, Drisha has a ton.
Miss Ghana, at beginning of school, we bought 3 batches of cards accidentally.
So you probably don't need to buy any more.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Nice, Di. Maybe you could make some flashcards for yourself at some point, Darshika.
Yeah,
like your own set of homemade multiplication flashcards.
Yeah, I already made those phonograms.
Oh, you did?
And
Or phonograms, yeah.
And then it was like still there. I'm just like, until this is ended, I'm just going to use it because then after that, I'm going to use it for cards and those stuff. Because I don't want, because I need it for school, yeah, so.
Shitish?
I bought 5 stacks of roots, 5-6 stacks of root cards.
Whoa! I thought Darshika's was a lot. Okay, boys and girls, this is a good time to stretch, get your eyes off the computer as we're getting out our supplies, orthography notebook, and 2 root cards. Well, let's do our roots first, and then we'll write our words in orthography. We've got a new Latin word today. The Latin word is cum. Would you all say cum? Cum. Sounds like the sound of a little bird. Cum, cum, cum. I'm thinking of, I guess, a coo, like a pigeon's coo.
Cuckoo.
Or like a cuckoo clock.
Hoo-hoo.
So the word is cum, and strangely enough, it's spelled C-U-M. So it looks like it'd be pronounced come, like come over to my house. But it's cum. In Latin, the U-U-U says an oo sound. Everyone say cum.
Cum.
Cum. Cum means with and together. With, like our preposition. Cum means with, together. Most of the English derivatives of this word have changed spelling over time. A lot of them change the U to an O in words, okay? So cum means with, together. But once again, a lot of the English derivatives end up changing the spelling. I think some of you might be able to guess one of the derivatives. Think of a place where you come together and do things as a whole group. Maybe some of you are members at the Bentonville Blank Center. You think of what this is? Brianna?
Fitness.
Oh, good guess, but no. Devanch?
Community.
Community, yeah. How many of you go to the community center?
My house is.
That's where I go to the gym. And I think probably a lot of you go there.
I used to go to
My
the
house is
community.
near.
You
My
have it
house
nearby you? Nice.
I go to the Walmart Fitness Center for my karate class.
Oh, that's great.
I don't go to the Walmart Fitness Center, but I do go to karate class.
Oh, cool. So community is a word which means like a group of people all doing something together. So there is the Bentonville Community Center where there's people working out, doing soccer together maybe, or swim. But at the Walmart Fitness Center as well, that's definitely a community of people who all work for Walmart. Now, community, the word community comes from that Latin word cum, and the word means a group which builds together. Not like building a house, but like growing together, basically. Group which builds together. We're a community, our classes. We're building or growing together in knowledge. You're all a community of third graders. Arima?
Didn't communism come from this word?
Oh, good question. Yeah, it probably does come from this. That's not one of the derivatives that we're going to learn, but that's a very good point. I'm not sure what the connection with together would be for that, but you're probably correct. Krish?
Would we do cumulative?
Oh, nice word choice, Krish. Cumulative is about things building on one another. And
The cumulative test.
Yeah, like a cumulative test. Let me see if that's one of our derivatives. It's not in our list, but maybe it should be. I might switch some things around because that's a really good suggestion.
The cumulative thing is in math in like the last of the pages.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, at the end of like workbook B, maybe some of your parents said, hey, you should do some of those cumulative assignments at the back for extra practice. There's cumulative review for like 2 or 3 chapters maybe together, which means it's a little bit of chapter 1 and 2, it builds cumulative. I might have to switch around our roots a little bit to include that. Let me write a note. That's a great suggestion. And then communism is a really good point too, but I don't think that one goes as well with what we're doing. So cumulative. Somebody in my 8:30 class brought up a good one as well. I think it was combat. Anyway, I'll look up some of these other ones to see if they do specifically derive from our Latin, and we might switch them up a little bit. The ones in our book for these other ones that you guys are coming up with. That's great. Oh, no, wait, combat is one of ours. I forget what the other person said. Okay, so those are the only 2 cards for today. Once you're done with those 2 cards, you can take out your orthography notebook and we're going to write the words from today's spelling lesson. Okay, great job. Sai's already done with it. He can just relax. Okay, our 4 words for today's lesson are going to go on page 56.
Can you tell me the words?
Yes, I was just waiting for people to get to the right page. Who's ready to start writing them on page 56? Good. Okay, the first one is discernible. Discernible. Word 2 is dissension. So discernible, dissension. And then rendezvous, which we think to spell rendezvous. And finally, kerosene. So it should look like this. Discernible, dissension, rendezvous, kerosene. Okay, once you're done with that, you can close your orthography notebook. We're done with all literacy for today. I'm needing to post a video of our poem that we are going to be reviewing over the next couple of weeks. A little poem called Jimmy Jet and His TV Set. It's by Shel Silverstein. It's a little funny one. So I think you guys are going to enjoy that. We'll be learning that soon. Yes, Krish?
Are we going to recite the quadrillion?
Yes, that one should have been recited and posted to Bright Thinker. If you haven't done it yet, you can do it sometime this week. We didn't have as much time to review because of all of the different schedule last week and the snow days and everything. So please post it to Bright Thinker. That is an assignment that I think had a due date of Friday.
It was not posted.
No,
It could have been.
It wasn't.
Okay, boys and girls, nope, we're not going to just unmute ourselves. That's very disrespectful. I've already received some, including Rihanna's. She's turned hers in already. I'll check the due date. Rihanna, did you not submit yours?
No.
Okay, then I must be thinking of somebody else. Boys and girls, you should be turning in Father William, but you can do it this week if you did not do it last week, okay? At this time, we are going to do some math. Please take out your math notebook and workbook. Boys and girls, please be understanding that last week was very different. I had dozens of assignments that were posted to Bright Thinker, and I was switching the due dates up. So be respectful with things that are a little bit different. And I will always give you extra time to turn in things. Okay? You want to try to turn things in the day they're due, but you always have permission to turn it in a little late and I'll still get it. Okay? Please take out your math notebooks and workbooks. Oh, taking a look, and it looks like the due date had not changed. So the people that turned it in went to the folder rather than their to-do list. So that's how some people turned theirs in already. Okay. Time to take out our math notebook. It was Arima as one of the students in the class who turned his in already, Father William. Great job, Arima. Looks like you were the only one in this class. There were a few in my 8:30 class, but you were the only one in this class to have turned yours in. Great job. Okay, boys and girls. For our math notes today, we are going to be continuing addition with money. This is day 2 of the lesson that we started on Friday. So we're going to do just a little bit of new information, but mainly practice of the concepts that we started on Friday. Before we get to that, though, I'd love to go over the answers to your pages from Friday. How'd you all feel about pages 1 through 3 in your workbook? Ahana, could you tell me why your thumb's down? Is there a specific part that you had a question on? Because I'd love to go over that if so.
I'm not really getting how on number 3 how you get the sense.
Great question. Okay, let's go over that specifically. Was there any questions on page 1? Rather than going through all of it, let's just go through anything you might have questions on. Did anybody have questions on page 1 where you add the dollars and add the cents mentally? No? With these, you should be able to do this mentally without any rounding. Okay, page 2. Also, you should be able to just add the dollars, 6 plus 18, and add the cents, 5 cents plus 20 cents. Any questions about that? Okay. Let's go over the answers to the grocery items, and then we'll go over the answers to page 3. Who can tell me the cost of a carton of milk and a head of broccoli? Rashi, can you tell us your answer? To number 13?
Hmm?
Can you tell us your answer to number 13?
Oh, wait. I forgot to get my workbook instead.
Okay, I'll have you do one of the other ones. Get your workbook, please. Tricia, what was your answer?
I got 5.
$5 even. Good job. I would recommend writing out the 0 cents as well. Did you do that mentally, Tricia?
Yep.
Excellent. Hopefully these all could be done mentally. Rashi, what'd you do for number 14? grapes,
14.
and biscuits.
$16.
Excellent. $16 even with no cents. Because with all of these so far, the cents add up to $1. What about number 15? Sai, could you tell us what you got?
I got $2.00.
Correct. $2.00. That one as well has the cents adding up to $1. And finally, Krish, what'd you get for number 16?
For number 16, I did 945 plus 355 that equals 1,300, and then I put the decimal after the 2 points that equals $13.00.
Great. Yep, that's a good strategy that we're going to talk about today, changing it to cents and then back over to dollars.
Yeah, we could do it like that, but I actually just added both of them. I could have added. I could add it.
Good job. Yep, you could add cheese and oranges. Once again, the cents add up to 100 or $1. And so then you just add one more to 9 and 3. One more dollar. Okay, now on to page 3, which it sounds like, Ahna, you had questions on this one. It's good to get those questions out because we are going to keep doing this for the next few days, quite a few number bonds. Saisanov, can you tell us what you did for number 1?
Okay, first we'll have to find out what should we do in the number bond. So, $6.95 plus 5 cents, which is $7. So we put this $7 in the second dollar symbol in the answer.
Good. Over here?
Yeah, I'm not there. Yeah. So, and now we'll have to find out how much we'll have to put in the dollar sign at the bottom, which is actually $9 because we have 5 cents here. We're minusing it. We're minusing the 5 cents with the dollars.
Basically, it's moving, 5 cents from this number to this number.
Yeah, so it's moving there. So that's how we get $9. And $9, we put it in the dollar sign, which equals $16. So
Perfect.
our answer is $16.
Good. And I'll go ahead and put the cents, 0 cents, just so that there's no confusion there. Great job, Saisanov.
It was easy.
Okay. For this next one, good. I'm glad that it was easy. We have 1185. And Ahana, I want you to think through. 1185 is really close to what whole dollar amount? What could we round it up to? Just like $2.80 rounded up to $3, $6.95 rounded to $7. What are we going to round this up to?
80.
So it's $11.85. What is the closest dollar amount to round up to?
$10.
So it's, let me show you with some manipulatives. Let's find, I've got 2 $5 little bills here. And one more makes 11. 11.85. Now, rather than adding all of this to $70.35. It's going to be easier if I just round this up to what it's closer to. I can just add a few more cents and then it would end up being $12. Right? How many more cents do I need for this to be a whole dollar that I can then make just $12 total? How many more cents do I need? This is 85 cents. Shatish, how many more cents do I need?
Well, I think you will need.
This is $11.85. How many more cents do I need to make $12?
To make $12, you will need 15 more cents.
15 more cents, that's right. And Ahana, it may help you to know almost always with this, or always with subtraction, we're going to be rounding these up. So focus on the $11. We're rounding that up to what the next number would be. So instead of 11, rounding up to 12. Now, how many cents did we need to round up to 12? 15 cents. That's what goes in the other circle. Who got that so far? 15 cents and $12. Good. I know it can be confusing to know what to write in the number bonds. Maybe you can figure this out without a problem. You can add them, but you just don't know what to write in the bonds. That's okay. We'll talk through it. Now, basically, since we just took 15 cents to give to 11.85, we're going to subtract it from this one. So this is $70 and how many cents when we remove the 15 cents from it? What's 35 minus 15? Who can tell me 35 minus 15 cents? Devansh?
20 plus 15 equals 35.
Good. 20 cents would go here. $70.20 and then 15 cents over here. Because we're not just adding 15 cents out of nowhere. We're moving 15 cents from this number to this number. So instead of $70.35, we're adding $70.20 to $12. Now we can add that mentally. Just add the dollar amounts. What's 70 plus 12? Shatish?
70 plus 12 shall be 82.
Perfect. And how many cents do we still have?
20.
20.
So $82.20.
Yes, perfect. Does that make sense, boys and girls? Basically, we're just moving the cents from one number to the other. Moving them over. Okay, Adarsh, can you help me with this next one? $10.75. Let's round it up to the next dollar.
What?
Can you tell me what would go in this number bond? Round up $10.75 to the next dollar.
11?
Good, 11. Now, how many cents did you need to round that up to 11?
1?
How many cents?
What? 35?
Close. 75 plus what equals 100?
$30?
No. Okay. Think of, we've got some quarters here. 10.75. How many quarters are needed to make a whole dollar?
2.
4 quarters. 4 quarters. So you need 1 more quarter. So there was 1075. We need 1 more quarter to add to that. What is 1 quarter worth, Adarsh?
25.
Good, 25. Right. When you see 75 cents, hopefully you make a mental picture of 3 quarters. Do any of you have a picture of that? When you see 75 cents, you can picture 3 quarters. And you need 1 more quarter, 25 cents, to make it a whole dollar. So that's 75 cents. Here's $1. Now it's going to be easier to add. Now, instead of 1075, we can add $11. And we moved 25 cents from this number over to this one. So that means we have to remove it from 1240.
Okay.
What's 40 cents? 40 minus 25.
Hmm. 15.
Good. $12.15. And we're going to put the other 15 cents here. I'm sorry, not 15, 25. Because once again, basically we're moving 25 cents over from this number to this number. Now, what are we adding to $11? Ahana, could you turn your camera on, sweetheart? It's okay. I think quite a few people are confused by this. I appreciate you saying that. So we're moving 25 cents from this number to this number. We're left with $12.15 to add. So what is our total sum?
Total sum. So we will have $23.15.
Perfect. You got it. $23.15. So in each one of these, it's just about moving money over from one number to the other. I wish that they actually used arrows like that to show that we're not just making 25 cents appear out of nowhere. It's literally moving it from one number to the other just to make it easier to add. Does that make sense, boys and girls? Okay. We're going to do something a little different actually than my morning class. You guys are not going to be writing in your notebooks because we spent a little longer doing this. But you're going to be totally fine. Let's take a look at page 5. I'm just going to get you a little head start on your workbook pages for today. Now, the last strategy that we did not get to in Friday's lesson was adding the traditional way like this, stacking our numbers. Sometimes this is the best strategy when you've got numbers like this with 70 cents and 15 cents. Because it takes a while to move the coins around and that kind of problem. With these types of problems, you add exactly as you normally would add. Just make sure that you are lining up your numbers really carefully. This is what we call the hundredth place on the far right, 2 digits past the decimal. Can you say hundredth? That means it's 1/100th of a dollar in this place value. This is the 10th place, meaning these are 1/10 of a dollar. And then we've got our normal place values of 1s and 10s. So this is hundredth You don't need to know that information, but it can be fun to know the actual terms. This is the hundredths place, tenths place. This is ones, tens. Just like normal addition, we always start with the smallest amount. In this case, this is the smallest place value. The far, far right is the smallest place value. This is where the pennies and nickels go, right? Shatish, can you walk us through the steps in solving this problem?
Well, yeah, okay. And will there also be thousands?
Oh, great question. Now, in American money, we don't have a thousandths place because we don't have a coin for that small of an amount.
Oh, yeah, I'm talking about just like normal addition.
But yes, in normal amount with working with decimals, you can have a thousandths place, which would be even smaller. Very good. And you do some decimal place work, right?
Yes.
Good. So you already probably know some of this.
I know, yeah, I know. My dad gives me to 100,000.
Excellent. Yep. So you can go smaller and smaller, really tiny. Yeah. But this is the smallest we'll work with, the hundredths place, which is where things that are 100th of a dollar would go.
Okay, so 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 1 is 8. Bring down to decimal.
Good. This part is important, boys and girls. After these two digits, we need our decimal point to go right there. Basically, bring it down.
4 plus 0 is 4. And 2 plus 3 is 3. 1 plus 2 is 3, yeah.
Perfect. So $34.85. Notice with this one, number 2, there's $0. But that doesn't mean you would line up the 95 cents over there, because that place value doesn't match up at all. If you're adding $65.05 to 95 cents, you need these place values to line up. This is the tenths place, hundredths place. Let me have somebody walk through the steps in adding these two numbers. Krish?
Okay, so first we have to do 5 plus 5 equals 0, 10.
10.
And then we carry over 1.
We regroup to the tenths place.
And then 1 plus 9 equals 0.
10 again.
10. Yeah, and then we take the decimal down.
Good. And we regroup.
And then 6 plus 0 equals 6. And we can keep the blank as a 0, and then it would be 6 plus 0 equals 6 again.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So $66. The steps are exactly the same. Great job, Krish. The thing to keep in mind with this is drop down that decimal point. Keep it after the 2 digits. Also, keep in mind that we need to line up our numbers correctly, just like lining up ones place, tens place, hundreds place. These ones past the decimal, smaller than ones place, make sure those are lined up too, but they've already done that work for you. Okay. For your homework today, you've got page 4, which is going back to more number bond practice, where you're rounding numbers up to $1 specifically. So like this $16.40 plus 80 cents. This one is close to $1. That's what you're going to round. With this one, $4.75 plus 95 cents. That's really close to $1. That's what you're going to round. And think of it as moving 5 cents over. Always think of it as moving it from one number to another. Okay? We already went over what to do on page 5. Last page is page 6, where you've got some real world exercises of items that you could get at a store, and you're going to add them up. Add the two items together to see what they would cost to all in total. Some of them, like skateboard, just require you to add the skateboard twice. Basically, like, what would be the cost of 2 skateboards? This is great practice of lining up your numbers correctly. All of these have just 4 digits, so it should be pretty easy, but make sure that you line them up really carefully. Like this one, skateboard and skateboard, 2540, 25, line up the 2s and 5s right underneath each other. Decimal point right underneath, 40. So this is really good practice of getting everything lined up correctly. Any questions about that? Okay. That is all for your math homework today. Once again, no book pages, but I think you'll be totally fine without them because it was just a practice day. So we did our practice in the workbook instead. Now, you have nothing posted in Bright Thinker for science at this point, but I'm going to add in a reminder to do some research on a planet that you want to write a paragraph about. Tomorrow is going to be the assignment to actually write the paragraph. Okay? History, you had a little video to watch. You might once again want to get a head start on your notes because the notes are a little bit more than usual. So if you've got time today to do some history notes, then you can get a head start. You should be able to view those notes already. And for literature, you've got your Farmer Boy chapter. Tomorrow, you're going to have a little quiz over the chapters you've read so far. It was supposed to be last Friday, which is more of a normal day for a quiz, but with everything, with the snow days and everything, it's just pushed back. So last question from Krish, and then we'll start on some reading groups.
Wait, in history, do you know why it's called the Trail of Tears?
Why?
Because a lot of people died in the way they were traveling.
I know.
That's so sad.
Did you hear about that in 2nd grade a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really tough, and they did not want to leave their land either, so that was another hard part about it. They were really freaked out.
So in this, like in that chain, you said about that chain that goes with the country. Does it really have power, or is it just not? Does it really have power?
Say that again.
No, in that chain that were made out of bear clothes, is that really have power, or does it not?
The bear claw necklace? No, I would say it does not have special power, but they believed it did, and it's just my belief that it didn't. My belief is that it just happened to be the pieces of the bear claw, and maybe the person, the chief, was a really strong, powerful person, but they didn't have like a magical ability. And I don't believe that they were descended from bears either. I believe that they were just descended from other humans.
And also in the history thing, when they wrote the necklace, there's the sharp things on the side. Won't they, like when they put the necklace, won't it hurt them?
Oh, I bet it would somewhat hurt them. But maybe that's part of how they felt really powerful, is wearing this necklace with bear claws, and maybe it would even scratch their neck and they were a little bit bloody, and it showed how tough they were.
Maybe
that's why
maybe that's part of it.
No, like whenever people come, I think it's not magical, but it maybe protects them. Like whenever peoples or animals come, if they see those claws, they would be afraid, and they will be like, it's gonna scratch us, and they'll run away. Maybe that's how they.
Maybe so. Yeah, I think mainly though they just felt like, oh, I am the bear, the toughest in the forest. And having like actual physical claws on it made them feel especially tough.
So I saw it maybe be woolly inside when they put it because it's like fuzzy. The necklace.
Yeah, maybe it is fuzzy, the part that touches their skin.
Maybe
Yeah.
outside shows them like I am the strong.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe it's furry on the inside touching them and then claws on the outside. But yeah, they truly did believe that it gave them like the special power of bears for their own strength. Arima?
I don't think it's so powerful.
I think all humans do this because people used to like in India, used to kill tigers and their claws on their on the necklace.
I think it just encouraged them to be fierce when they hunt.
That's a good point too, that maybe, so there were probably a lot of people who believed it was real. And then for people who didn't truly think it was real, it was still like this, a symbol of the strength that they wanted to have. But that's a good connection that in India they did that with tigers. Okay, boys and girls, I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, but we do need to get started on reading groups at this time. So I'll have Jess, Shatij, Ahana, Adarsh, and Stai stay with me. Everybody else, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a great